Hi guys, this is my official video on the Gen 2 3/8 to half inch mid torque. The 3/8 and the half inch are essentially the same gun, so there is no need to test both of them. But I've owned the mid torque since that was my first Milwaukee tool that I bought, I believe. So it's kind of a classic to me. I would say this specific one is 600 foot-pounds breakaway. Get it in half inch. I got it in 3/8, and it's way too powerful to be 3/8. Yes, technically the torque test channel did prove that the 3/8 was more powerful due to technicalities, but like, in terms of power and performance, just get the half inch. You'll be much happier. And overall, the tool, it's a good tool. I don't use it that often because I have other tools that I use more often. I use it more of like an air hammer situation where I need big power. Like, I have so many tools now that it's no longer my second to my ratchet. Now I have the regular impact driver that's second to my ratchet, my power ratchet, my insider power ratchet, which that's going to get replaced pretty soon too with the new Gen 2 ratchets. But overall, I would say, if you're thinking about getting into a tool platform, I don't necessarily know that you need to go into Milwaukee. Like, yes, they're giants. Their prices have gone up. I am kind of locked in because I am in their system. So honestly, I prefer DeWalt. DeWalt is looking pretty promising. Their power figures are not that far from Milwaukee. They're cheaper in terms of like bare tool costs. The mid torque is smaller than actually Milwaukee's one, but they seem to have a better lifespan than, say, a Milwaukee tool would. Now, one thing that Milwaukee does have on DeWalt is their warranty. I think base warranty on all tools is 5 years, which is awesome. Usually tools after 5 years, it's getting to the point, like a lot of these modern tools, it's like, by the time it's, like, I have a guy that has a snap-on mid-torque that is equivalent to my tool in terms of like specs, like in terms of like the actual size. They're very comparable in size, but his is actually more comparable to their Milwaukee's this one, their 3/8 compact. It's more comparable to that in torque figures, but it's the same size as their mid torque, which is kind of nuts. That's Snap-on for you. His mid torque I beat in speed 2 on a regular occasion. Like, his wouldn't budge a bolt. Like, he tried to take off a bolt, his Snap-on mid torque wouldn't take it off. I took it off in speed 2 with the M18. If that isn't impressive, I don't know what is. It wasn't even in speed 3, it was in speed 2 of all things. So, and I believe it also had an extension too. So, now extensions are going to be your limiting factor, essentially. If you have an extension on there, it can be robbing power. Like a lot of power. But Yeah, 600 foot-pounds nut busting, 550 tightening, which is ridiculous. Brushless motor, obviously, 4 modes. The 4th mode I don't really count because it's essentially a gimmick mode, but it's useful in certain situations. The RPM, I will say, it does have a weird trigger glitch sometimes. If you're trying to like feather the trigger, like pulsate the trigger sometimes when you're putting on certain things, I will say it sometimes glitches out, but only for a moment. So if that's going to irritate you, don't steer away from this. Buy Snap-on. they don't have any such issue, but also they're obsolete in terms of power and performance. So there you go. All right. Recommendations when you're buying, if you're looking into buying one of these, get it in 1/2 inch. It will serve you very well. I think it's more of a 1/2 inch gun than anything else. 3/8, it's just a little too much for 3/8. Get a stubby if you're gonna get 3/8. Get the M12 stubby, or their M18. They're not mid torque. The one below this, the low torque, I call it. This one, compact impact wrench. They're M18 compact. Just get one of them. So you don't need one key or any of that stuff, unless you're lending your tools out to people. So, all right, peace, and I'll see you guys in the next one.